Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Friendship Pierce, and welcome again to my channel. We made it. I said we made it. January 31st of 2025, 11:23 in the a.m. Hope you guys are having a great day. We have rain all day here in Chicago. It is nasty, and the fog was thick all night. So I hope we're not going to go through one of those fog moments again. Hint, hint, like we did about 6 weeks ago. We pray we don't. Let me know in the comment section if you had thick fog within the last 36 to 48 hours, because we had it real bad again. I want to get back into this airline crash that we had in Washington, D.C. I've been back and forth doing research on Air Florida Flight 90. And this happened on January 13th of 1982. Same area. And in the Potomac River. I found it interesting reading. And I'm thinking, yeah, Ronald Reagan was president, and Ronald Reagan was the first mega. And also, it's reported they had 74 fatalities. And that 7-4 stuck with me, so I started doing some more research. 7-4, of course, the great nation of ours, was born on July 4th, 1776. And I had been talking about that bird. Many people, they watched a few videos that I've done. I appreciate that. I want you to understand that, yes, it was American Airlines. But yeah, people... there's a lot of symbolism in this thing, okay? There's a lot of symbolism in that. The name of the plane was called the American Eagle. And people have asked me, I'm like, look, the name of the plane was called the American Eagle. And in my mind, the American Eagle was attacked by a helicopter called the Black Hawk. Black Hawk. Well, I digress. Let's get into this, what happened before, and bring it back up to the now. You see Flight 90, redirect here for film. See Flight 90, disaster of the Potomac. Okay, Air Florida Flight 90 was a scheduled U.S. domestic passenger flight operated by Air Florida from Washington National Airport, now Ronald Reagan Airport, Washington National Airport, to Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport, with an intermediate stopover at Tampa International Airport. On January 13, 1982, the Boeing 737-200 that executed the flight, registered as N62AF, crashed into the 14th Street Bridge over the Potomac River just as takeoff from Washington National Airport. Imagine that, right? Imagine that. As soon as I looked at the numbers, it also blew my mind. When you take, it crashed in the 14th Street. 14 minus 90 gives you 76, right? Like 1776, we were born, the country was born July 4th, 1776. I just see a lot. Imagine yourself, I think it was 4 or 5 cars that got hit by this plane at that bridge, right? Striking the bridge which carries Interstate 395 between Washington, D.C. and Arlington County, Virginia. It hit 7 occupied vehicles, okay, so 7, and destroyed 97 feet of guardrail before plunging through the ice into the Potomac River. The aircraft was carrying 74 passengers. Again, that's what stuck me. 74, like July 4th. I've been talking about that forever. So symbolic. And 5 crew members. Only 4 passengers and 1 crew member were rescued from the crash and survived. Another passenger assisted in rescue of the survivors, but drowned before he could be rescued. Imagine that, going to help somebody and you're a hero, Arlen D. Williams. God rest his soul. A lot of ambulances today for some reason. 4 months, four motorists on the bridge were killed. The survivors were rescued from the icy river by civilians and professionals. President Ronald Reagan commented on these acts during the State of the Union speech 13 days later. So that's a brief history as to what happened. Too much ice on the wings, they speculate. The National Transportation Safety Board determined that the cause of the accident was pilot error. I understand that the main pilot was told by his co-pilot to abort the situation. He didn't. That was my research. That blew my mind. The pilots, because the plane was shaking, the pilots failed to switch on the engine's internal ice protection system, used reverse thrust in a snowstorm prior to takeoff, tried to use the jet exhaust on a plane in front of them to melt their ice, and failed to abandon the takeoff, even after detecting a power problem while taxiing and ice and snow building on the wings. Kind of made no sense. The more I researched this, people, the more I was horrified. If you remember this incident, let me know. It just made no sense. It made no sense. And this current situation, it says it's going to take 30 days to research the incident from January 29th. Flight 5342. Yeah. So let's get into this. Let's get into this thing, because this is. I mean, wow, aviation, right? Ronald Reagan was president at the time. Listen to this here. Here's a file from it from 1982.
Reopened in the morning. Less than a minute after takeoff that afternoon, Flight 90 crashed into the 14th Street Bridge before falling into the frozen Potomac River. It broke into several pieces.
You can see a portion of the plane sticking up out of the water. Most of the airplane is underwater. There's a considerable amount of ice in the river this morning.
74 passengers and 5 crew members were on board. Initially, 6 of them survived the impact. One of the passengers, Arlen Williams Jr., helped the other 5 people make it out of the sinking plane before he himself died in the freezing waters. 4 drivers on the bridge were also killed in the crash. After many days of recovery efforts and months of investigation, the NTSB found this crash was caused by improper de-icing and the decision to take off with the amount of ice left on the wings. In total, 78 people died and 9 were hurt.
78 people died. You hear the other part? Listen to this, people.
Of ice left on the wings. In total, 78 people died and 9 were.
Now you see why my research got detailed? 78 people died, they said total here. Where Trump is 78 years old. It's like history repeats itself. Then I want you to look at this boat. I want you to see something. Watch this here.
In the river this morning.
74 passengers and 5 crew members were on board. Initially, 6 of them survived the impact. One of the passengers, Arlen Williams Jr., helped the other 5 people make it out of the sinking plane before he himself.
I want you to see this number. See this boat here?
Died in the freezing waters.
30384. People, what are the odds? I tell you, this thing gives me goosebumps. The plane 5342 that was hit by the Black Hawk, they were supposed to land on 33, right? And look, this says 30384. And look, that's why I keep saying that even though Barack Obama was born August 4th, he had to fit like a hand in a glove. Because back in the day, 84 was also part of Gematria. Look, 30384. There's something about this number. It's like it's a cursed number, right? What are the odds? It's not going to come all the way up because they close off. But I just want you guys to see it. You can tell it's a 4 the way it protrudes out. See that? You can tell. 30384. Isn't that amazing? And like I said, what sparked it when I read X amount of people died, 30384. But I digress. I mean, what similarities, right? I'll put this in the description, that video, so you can catch it yourself.
On the skids was fearless, at one point simply grabbing Nikki Phelps from the water.
He physically reached down, picked her up, pulled her up onto his boot, and he was not strapped in.
And we will never forget Priscilla Tirado, her husband and 2-month-old baby dead on the plane. She's cold, she's weak, and she's now blinded by the jet fuel, and she's going to drown. But it was a day of incredible moments, and Lenny Skutnik, a bystander who worked for the government, suddenly dives into the water and grabs her, bringing her to shore.
My God.
Air Florida on that surreal afternoon showed us ordinary people doing extraordinary things.
That day, that was the best I can be. And the rest of the time, I guess I'm just stuck with myself.
Wow, people. I tell you. Wow. Isn't that something? Look at this. Look at this moment again.
He was not strapped in.
And we will never forget Priscilla Tirado, her husband and 2-month-old baby dead on the plane. She's cold, she's weak, and she's now blinded by the jet fuel, and she's going to drown. But it was a day of incredible moments, and Lenny Skutnik, a bystander who worked for the government, suddenly dives into the water and grabs her, bringing her to shore. Air Florida on that
My God. When we take the anniversary of that day, 1/13/2025, the anniversary of that, how old would that make that? Let me do some math right quick, people. I didn't think to do the math on that. That was 1982. 1982 minus 2025. That was 43 years ago, people. 43 years ago. So yeah, 1/13/2025 is the anniversary versus the airplane crash from a few days ago, 1/29/2025. The difference is that dreadful 2-2. And you know, Barack Obama's got that 2-2 on his head as he sweats, as the American flag literally let's go to this here, iPad Go 2. iPad Go 2. For the new subscribers, I want you guys to see this here. An iPad Go 2, hella font. There's a point in there where Barack Obama has a V on his head. A V. V is the 22nd letter of the alphabet. He's sweating because he sees something dreadful. And the American flag, literally seconds later, it shreds. See, it shreds into pieces. So, I mean, is it forecasting 1/13/2025 anniversary of plane 90 going into the Potomac River versus plane 5342 going into the Potomac River on this day? The difference is 2-2. Dreadful. And remember, 74 perished, as in July 4th. Symbolic. Again, a Black Hawk attacking a American Eagle, which is the plane. That's deep, y'all. Now, let's get into this here. I want you guys to see something. The pointing fingers and blame game and whatever, how you want to coin it, is starting to come out. Check it out. The Federal Aviation Administration has confirmed the air traffic controller working was doing the job of 2 people. Okay? So, they confirmed that there was somebody that an air traffic controller was doing the job of 2 people. A supervisor let somebody leave early, and they said that's acceptable, but that's what happened that night. The air traffic controller was on duty when the mid-air collision between a Black Hawk helicopter and a passenger plane killed 67 people. According to New York Times, it says An FAA preliminary report made an interesting discovery of the Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport staffing. FAA preliminary report found that air traffic controller tower staffing was not normal for the time of the day and volume of traffic. So they were understaffed during that period of the crash. The report found the air traffic controller working was pulling double duty, watching arriving and departing planes while also overseeing helicopters. Wow. So they were understaffed by one person, and the person who was left there was doing double duty. Are you kidding me? The responsibilities of watching arriving, departing planes and overseeing helicopters are usually split between two people, the report added. According to Fox News, Reagan National Airport has suffered from understaffing for years, with only 19 fully certified controllers. That's crazy, people. Staffing targets set by FAA and the Controllers Union request 30, according to Fox News. The airport being understaffed is reportedly nothing new, as most air traffic control facilities are understaffed around the country. Aviation staff experts and air crash investigator John Cox appeared on Sky News and revealed the flight paths both aircrafts were used. So yeah, the aircraft space that they were using and the route is common. And usually the helicopter is under the plane. They've been doing this type of routing for decades from my research. Now check this out.
Defense officials tell CBS News flight operations for the 12th Aviation Battalion out of Virginia have been temporarily suspended by the U.S. military as investigators try to determine what happened on this training flight.
No excuses. We're going to get to the bottom of this.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said there was nothing unusual about the flight, which took off from nearby Fort Belvoir.
Routine annual retraining of night flights on a standard corridor for a continuity of government mission.
That government mission, a readiness exercise in the event of a catastrophic attack on the Capitol. It's a plan that includes the mass evacuation and relocation of every federal government agency, including the White House. The pilot, co-pilot, and crew chief, Ryan O'Hara.
You hear that? They were having a training exercise in case they had to evacuate all the politicians and the president. I don't know about you guys, but I've been watching a lot of that on different news feeds. Something's going on, right? They're planning. That's all I can say. Check this out.
Aircraft as well. Those are going to be really important for air traffic, for NTSB investigators. At the same time, our Tom Costello has been able to confirm from a source that the air traffic control tower was not staffed as it normally would be in the time frame that this all happened. A supervisor in the tower allowed one of the air traffic controllers to leave early, and that left one person to operate the tower from an air traffic control perspective, that person talking to both helicopters and airplanes, which is not typically how the operation would be in that space, although it is allowed. And that's something, too, that the National Transportation Safety Board is going to be looking at. It's going to be months, John, before we get real answers about how exactly this happened. The NTSB says...
Are you feeling safe at this point? And what did their report say? That this is happening around America? You're supposed to have, what, 30 to 31 controllers, only had 19 at DC? Something's wrong, people. Something's wrong. You know that Trump gave his opinion yesterday, things I can't get into, but other folks can talk about, but I can't talk about those kind of issues in terms of the hiring. But yeah, we should have the best, but yeah, we need a serious recruitment for those positions if we're that staffed. And it's got to be stressful. It's got to be stressful. Now I want to take you back to a video that I did 5 months ago in relation to this training that's been going on with helicopters and planes near the White House, okay? You guys probably remember this. Check it out. Right there. Last night they had helicopters at the White House doing their little exercise in case there's a attack. Watch this.
Watch your tower, Apache flight plate. Apache flight plate, right? Tower, Apache flight plate, request Alpha 1 in Pennsylvania, Alpha Papa 56 Alpha. Apache flight plate, approved.
Hey guys, greetings from the U.S. Capitol, because we have a late night event, maybe. I don't know if it's going to actually happen, but reportedly there are going to be 4 Black Hawk helicopters doing a survey, a landing zone survey, and they're going to come down here and check out this area and then the other side of the Capitol as potential landings.
So you think that's a coincidence? Let's go to here. See how he fared with the pictures that he took. White House lawn, Black Hawk helicopters last night, the 13th of August.
Okay guys, so I took about 100 photos last night, but the majority of them look like this. Blurry, out of focus, squiggly, yada 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 yada. However, I did get lucky in that there were a few photos.
Oh yeah. This guy lives a few blocks from the White House, so he's always on it. Look at it. There you go. Do they know something? Was this just a routine exercise? Or is something coming? There it is. iPad Go 2. Right there. Cartoon Barack Obama with a V on his head. He's sweating because he knows what's coming. He knows the sun god Ra is coming from the lotus flower. Lotus flower means Kamala. We just happen to have a VP named Kamala. Just so happened, right? So he's sweating the V because he sees what's coming. He sees America about to go through some hell. A living hell. Well, people, are they preparing for something? And I am serious. It is standard operating procedure, but hey, did this situation that just recently occurred a few days ago, and I just can't get over that number, 30384, I'm telling you, but did this situation that just recently happened, people, this Antichrist and what they're doing out here, they send subliminal messages is what I'm saying. They send future past messages. That's what they do. And my gut is telling me that through this incident, which I don't believe was, how can I put this? It wasn't a normal event. It's in the spiritual realm. Check out my last few videos. You'll see how I feel about it. The numbers add up too perfectly for me not to suspect something. But be that as it may, I believe they're trying to tell us something, and they're getting prepared. Tell me what you think. What do you think? And did this tragedy from the past, do you see what I see? Some similarities in the numbers and events, and something which could have been avoided. My name is Friendship Pierce. If you like the work, please subscribe. Make sure you're subscribed every day, because many times people are unsubscribed to my channel. They don't get the notifications. So don't look for the notifications. Just go to my site. I do 3 videos a day, okay? I know it's rough, but hey, that's all I can do is pray and act, okay? Click on my portrait if you want to help the channel, and go to more. I have Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, PayPal, a P.O. Box. Also a beautiful book, Amazon Books, poetry book, Protect a Gift. Buy one for you and your family. God bless you and be safe.